We are back. Peanut Gallery. This is the first NXT branded pay-per-view technically under the 2.0 banner.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I have very mixed thoughts about this. I'm not familiar with all the characters. I feel like the characters are very WWE-esque, which is to be expected. But they just feel so stale. They feel forced. They feel cookie cutter to me.
It doesn't feel authentic.
There's like a formula to how they're building these new stars.
You told me throughout the week that there was a handful of gimmicks that you actually like with the new format.
There are a handful of gimmicks. I'll go through them, but there are ones that I just hate too.
Well, the first one is one that you absolutely love, and I agree with you. Toxic Attraction is freaking cool.
It's fantastic.
Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, and Kaylee Ray.
There we go.
Kaylee Ray taking on Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai in War Games.
Okay, so let me just get this out of the way right now. Cora Jade, her selling is fantastic. Like, she sells very well. She has a future.
Oh, yeah. So I did write down the order of the people that were in. So it was Kaylee Ray and Dakota Kai to start. They actually were very brutal. I loved it. It was great. So Cora Jade came in next. Gigi Dolan was next. Io Shirai was next. JC Jane was next. Raquel Gonzalez. And Mandy Rose was the final participant. These women had a great War Games match.
Oh, yeah.
This was an excellent War Games match.
It was an excellent opener.
They had to knock this out of the park, and everybody did so great.
Another thing that I don't really like about the way that this all came together was I didn't really feel that huge build. I understand that there are rivalries going into this. That, you got Toxic Attraction versus
Raquel Gonzalez was the former NXT Women's Champion.
Right. Of course, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai have a history. But I think
Io Shirai and Zoe Stark were the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions before Toxic Attraction took it off of them. And
so there was a lot of
Cora Jade was added because Zoe Stark got hurt.
Right.
That's the only reason.
So again, I'm trying to formulate how this all came together. I can see kind of where the pieces fall into place.
Right.
But I'm trying to see the need for a War Games match involving these teams. Does that make sense?
I understand where you're coming from. There were other ones that did it better, but I think with what we saw here, because I believe it was the NXT Women's Championship match between Raquel Gonzalez and Mandy Rose, that it was like a hardcore match.
Right.
So it had to bump it up a notch. Right. And how Toxic Attraction just steamrolled and took over the women's division in NXT. Right. I thought that this, between the two War Games, was the best War Games.
Yeah. But, again, this is where I have the problems with how I feel like WWE does gimmick pay-per-views for the sake of doing the gimmick.
Right.
Where it doesn't feel like it's a natural progression.
Now, in the defense of WWE, the WCW did it the same way.
Yeah.
They did have a War Games-specific pay-per-view where it wasn't all War Games, but when you set up 2 rings, you have to have, like, that gimmick.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry. You have to. It's not like, you can just do War Games at any pay-per-view.
There's a way to set it up, though.
I thought between the two, this one had the best build. If Zoe Stark was in there instead of Cora Jade, I feel like it would have been a little more impactful.
Yeah.
But, she has an ACL injury.
Right.
What can you do?
Much.
Right. This wasn't... I like this match. I really did.
It was okay.
Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly taking on Imperium for the NXT Tag Team
Wagner is so green.
I will say, in between the two matches that I saw from him, this one was by far the best one.
Yeah.
He was... because, keep in mind of the other 3 people that are in this match.
Right, they're all veterans.
They're all veterans, and they're all freaking awesome.
Right, so of course they're going to carry Von Wagner, but... I don't know.
I thought this match was paced really well. Everyone was in where they were supposed to be. I was excited when this match happened. It got me more excited. Unfortunately, Kyle O'Reilly's now gone from the company. Thank Christ.
Or fortunately, he's gone.
Yeah, well, for them, unfortunately. And it was an Imperium bomb on Kyle O'Reilly. I'm surprised he ate the pin for the win.
I'm not surprised he ate the pin.
So
he had 1 foot out the door at that point.
Right, and here's the one thing. Von Wagner tried to attack Kyle O'Reilly, but got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Even despite him winning a steel cage match on NXT the next week, because I actually watched the show, he looked like a dork.
Yeah. Von Wagner is way too green. And now they're gonna call him up to SmackDown.
He's not ready for it. I don't care if he's second generation. I don't care if he was like that football star. He needs more seasoning. There's potential with the guy. Don't get me wrong.
Oh God, yes. There's all the potential in the world, but
he's not ready yet.
Yeah.
He needed some more time in PC. He needed more time in PC.
Oh God,
that's all I have to say. Mm-hmm. I've heard better things from Simone Johnson than I had with Von Wagner.
Yeah.
Because she's right now in the PC.
Right.
And people were like, oh my God, she's ready. But it's like, no, she's taking her time. She wants to be ready.
All right, next match. I did not like. I didn't like this. I didn't enjoy the storyline.
I did not like the stipulation. I thought these two actually had okay chemistry in the ring.
This okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay.
I know. I said it was a fight match.
I hated the stipulation for this match.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Have these two just have the match without the hair versus hair stipulation. I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cameron Grimes won with a roll up with the tights, and once again, the ending kind of soured it for me too. It's like, why? Cameron Grimes is perfectly capable of not doing that.
Right.
And then, like, part of why? Why did Duke Hudson need his head shaved? Duke Hudson's great.
Yeah.
And then now he did this stupid dorky thing on NXT. I had a chuckle with it, but come on. He had this ridiculous wig. It looked stupid.
Yeah.
There was no reason for it. Zero.
Yep.
And they're continuing it. They're having I would have rather had the stipulation that they're having next week. These two are going to have a match in 2 days in a no-holds-barred match.
Well, that would have been a great stipulation. But
for this one, yeah.
Yeah. But
and then at that point, then have Duke Hudson win, do the haircutting thing, do the hair versus hair for the next NXT pay-per-view, and build.
Right.
They did 2 weeks of build for this.
Yeah. So that's kind of what soured it for me, too, was there really wasn't a lot going on up to this.
Right.
Other than, oh, well, I'm better than you, but who cares?
Right.
I don't even know you, Duke Hudson.
Right. Okay. The only thing I was pissed off about this match is that they suspended the cruiserweight weight limit to have this match.
Why?
Joe Gacy is 245 pounds.
I know why, but there's no reason for
it. At this point, just get rid of the Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, there's no reason for it.
Roderick Strong, Joe Gacy for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I didn't even know you could do the lifting of the weight thing.
Oh, that was just made up on the fly.
It was stupid because obviously Joe Gacy is not 205 pounds.
Yeah, you know you have a bunch of apes running the creative writing team back there.
God. Here's the thing. I liked the match.
It was a good. It was
good.
It wasn't great, but it was good.
I like Joe Gacy.
I'm not a fan.
What I also liked was Harlan's involvement with picking up Ivy Nile and him was like, no, put him down. I like it. I like that chemistry. I think those two work really well together. And this whole thing with Diamond Mine, I actually, because I've been watching the show week by week, I was excited about this match.
Okay.
It just ended weird because it just like end of heartache, done. Roderick Strong wins.
Right.
Why did you have to? Joe Gacy was undefeated.
Right.
He did not lose a match, and Joe Gacy is awesome. It's like he shouldn't have been in this match in the first place.
Again, this is them painting themselves into a corner.
God. I can't take Joe Gacy in the least bit seriously now.
I never did. I hated his gimmick.
I don't hate the gimmick. I like the gimmick.
I hate the gimmick. I hate a lot of gimmicks that NXT's coming out with.
Well, you're a peanut gallery, so
I hate Ike Manjiro's gimmick. I hate those stupid fucking.
Let's talk about that since you brought it up. That shit was fucking annoying.
It was very annoying.
It was throughout the whole
They were doing a lot of different, like, coming next week sort of things. I'm like, I want to watch a fucking wrestling match. I don't want to watch this.
This is a pay-per-view.
Right.
Treat it as a pay-per-view. If you don't have enough matches, add more matches.
Right.
You have plenty of people who are there.
Right.
You have plenty of young stars who are scratching at it to get there. You can do that.
Right.
Have the Creed brothers wrestle. Have the Creed brothers face Jacket Time.
Right.
They were in a rivalry.
Nope.
Instead of doing the Ikeman Jiro backstage bullshit, have Kushida and Jiro taking on the Creed brothers and fucking actually do that.
You know why they did that? Sponsors.
Of course. This shit should not be hard. There's a way to do it tastefully, but they can't.
Right. They have to do it on a special.
At the very fucking goddamn least, they did it better than Triple Mania.
Oh yeah.
Triple Mania's was just like
hot garbage.
It just took me out of it.
Right.
At least with this one, there was kind of a flow with it.
Right. All right. Last match.
Team 2.0.
Hate that name.
Taking on Team Black and Gold.
Hate that. I hate that name. I understand the premise of the match, but really the only thing that mattered was fucking
Johnny Gargano wrestling his final takeover.
And
it's a takeover.
No, and the only thing that really mattered was Tommaso Ciampa and Bron Breakker. That was it. That was the entire reason that this match was put together, was to help increase the stock of 2.0.
Right.
At the expense of Black and Gold. Now Black and Gold is dead.
No. The problem is you actually said the premise of this, that they're raising the stocks of these losers.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care either. They've never given me a reason to care about these people.
The only ones that I actually care about. So number one, at least with the last week, they're actually starting to push Grayson Waller, who's actually really good. I like Grayson Waller. Tony D'Angelo, he just came on the roster not even a month ago. And he should not have been in this match.
Right.
At least with Carmelo Hayes, he was on there constantly.
Right.
And he is a champion.
Yeah,
and that's
true.
okay. With Bron Breakker, obviously Bron Breakker's good. He is really good. He is the future of this company.
Right. But you never given me a reason to really care other than it's old school versus new school.
And I hate trashing LA Knight for any reason because I like LA Knight, but I feel like there would have been 2 or 3 other guys that would have been much better in this position.
LA Knight was he's a very recent addition.
He came in very recently.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to take seriously that he is team Black and Gold when he was only in there for a cup of coffee.
Right. That pretty much was it. So I don't know.
The rest of the guys were fine. To be honest with you, if this motherfucker is moving over here, I think Walter would have been a better addition into this than LA Knight. No, this is not offense to LA Knight, but if that's the premise of this match, that's who should have been in it.
Right. Anyways, what's the order?
Carmelo Hayes and Johnny Gargano started. It was Grayson Waller, Pete Dunne, Tony D'Angelo, LA Knight, Bron Breakker, and Tommaso Ciampa was the final one. It was a gorilla press slam by Breakker to Ciampa to pin the champion, which I liked. I actually liked that. So I said it was an awesome match because it was. It was a really good match. I think
everyone performed well.
And it was paced really well. It flowed really cleanly. The problem was the premise going into it.
Yeah, it felt very, I don't know, it felt very basic.
It felt hogposh.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of personal grief between any individual wrestlers.
The only ones, okay, Tommaso Ciampa, Bron Breakker, and then they started to shoehorn in Carmelo Hayes and Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano, I think, was a North American champion before Carmelo Hayes. LA Knight and Grayson Waller had like that comedy relief rivalry, so there was no reason for it. And Pete Dunne and D'Angelo were there to be filler.
Right, they were just filler.
It made no sense to me. It was just ridiculous.
Anyways, making it Majestic again.
With NXT's change with this. It felt too forced.
It did. It felt way too forced.
If they were going to do a transition between the two pay-per-views, a War Games was not the appropriate gimmick for it.
The appropriate avenue.
It should have been like a takeover Blink or a new generation, like what old NXT used to do.
Right.
Where they had like NXT Fatal 4-Way or NXT Arrival. It should have been NXT 2.0 Arrival.
Right, or something like that. Right.
If they did it that way and had the title matches and everything, I don't believe we would have had an issue.
No, I don't think so either.
Because the War Game stipulation should not be a forced in gimmick stipulation.
Exactly. It should be a natural progression.
Right. Now, if you can have this, but have the natural couple of months progression rivalry to build.
Right.
And then you wouldn't have had a problem. And then this would have made it more impactful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it would have given more time for this match and this match. And this match.
Right.
And this match to develop to where you can invest more of your interest.
Yes.
They just shoehorned it in too quickly.
Yes, they did. Anyways.
I think we got the point there. That was pretty good. So next we are going to...
Yes. Well, when we come back,
we're going to be talking about, to right now, the final Ring of Honor show, and that is Final Battle.